All right, holy fucking A, it's Friday, and it wouldn't be a fucking show without some sort of technical difficulty in between here and adjusting things sonically with this fucking thing. Magically, I lost all audio on this whole deal, so if you're still paying attention, I appreciate you coming and checking it out here. You're listening to Ritual Madness Podcast. Do me a favor, check out Anti-Broadcasting Incorporated, screen printing company. Good guys. They help me out with my t-shirt stuff and lots of bands around town, around the nation, actually. Do me a favor, check them out. Hit them up at antibroadcasting@gmail.com or give them a shout, 612-836-9488. If you're looking to get some screen printing done, those are the guys you want to contact. Tell them I sent you. Hopefully they'll charge you more. If you're looking to get some tattoo work done, go to Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective or give them a call, 612-353-4755, or shoot them an email at lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. Good folks, tell them I sent you. They'll probably draw a big penis on your face. So there we go. Let me see. All right, here we are. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thanks you for sticking around. I appreciate it so much. I'm here with Jason Portinga. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing lovely.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Good to have you here, dude. We have been friends for quite a long time, dude. I can't even think of how many years it's been that we've been friends. Quite a fucking few.
I think I threw you out of First Avenue a few times.
Yeah.
Or helped.
Yeah.
Because you didn't go easily.
No, I never did.
But then we became friends at Pantera.
Yeah.
At River's Edge, I believe it was.
I believe it was that show. I always tell the story about when we were younger, or before I started working security with you, dude. Like, you came up to me and you were like, "All right," I was just ready to fucking piss pound some dude in the pit
at Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, and you go, "Hey man, you want a fucking job?" And I said,
"That was at Cannibal Corpse."
Yeah, you were like, I was like, "Doing what?" "Doing security." "Oh yeah, where?" You're like, "Well, Richard Best has got this thing going on," and you kind of let me have it, and you go, "One thing, if you want a job, you can't piss pound this dude right now." And I go, "All right." And I stood there, and I remember just being fucking super pissed off because I just wanted to smash this dude into oblivion. And
you guys opened that show, didn't you?
I believe we probably.
Yeah, Cannibal Corpse at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
But I remember that show well.
Yeah.
I remember telling you that well.
Yeah. That was kind of one of those things, dude. I mean, dude, you've been a fixture around the Minneapolis music scene. I mean, dude, you've been around here a long time. Well, okay, so you kind of came up in Frogtown, right? In St. Paul?
Midway area.
Yep. Frogtown.
Yeah. I was a fixture at Ryan's.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, now you were kind of hanging out with fucking rock and rollers. All the way through high school. And shit,
I
right?
started doing security. Well, I've always been in music.
Yeah.
And so I started. But my first time I did security was for Ice-T.
Yeah.
He did an in-store at Northern Lights, and I was in with them on University.
Yeah.
And then I did a couple shows with him, which was, I'm like fucking 18 doing security for Ice-T.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Nothing wrong with that though. Fuck, you got hooked up. How did you manage to get involved with fucking Ice-T? I mean,
he thought it was cool that I was out there waiting for him, and I cut off all the sleeves on my shirt because I feel restricted.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of snowing, and he pulled up driving. And he doesn't know how to drive in the snow because he's from California.
Right.
And he slid up on the curb between the two buildings between Northern Lights and whatever. And I was like, and he's like, "How'd you like that?" I was like, "I was fine." He's like, "Look at you out here fucking treading the snow in like a tank top."
He's like, "That's a cool motherfucker right
there." But
yeah,
and then so he's like, "I lost because I was doing security." I said, "I'm your security here." And he's like, "Oh," he kind of looked at me like, "Yeah." But then I did like 3 more shows with him. You know? And so it worked out good. And then pretty much anybody who came to Northern Lights to do an in-store, I did security for like Armored Saint, LA Guns, Kicks. Kicks.
Yeah, dude.
You know.
Yeah, all them spots, right?
Unfortunately, I'd get really drunk. And I remember during Armored Saint, because I went and picked them up at their hotel and I brought them to the in-store. And then my tennis shoes got... the big laces, my laces got caught on like a record stand, and I was walking through the crowd. Boom, said, boom, face down, and they're like, "That's our driver." So yeah, that was on the I forget what album that was the one before Symbols of Salvation.
So now you were saying Northern Lights is the one downtown Minneapolis?
No, downtown St. Paul. Or, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
that's where I started doing security for them, for all the in-stores and for their ticket sales.
Yep.
And that's how how I got front row for Prince.
Nice. Nice.
And then, like, they had all these other shit coming in there. But yeah, so I started working for them. And then I started working at First Avenue because I couldn't afford to go to shows, and I was like, well, work there. That's the only way I could see all the shows I want.
Now back then, they didn't pay you shit to work there, right?
They still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I was. Until you start working like bartending or bar backing.
Yeah.
Eventually, I was the head bar back. I worked 3 days a week. I was clearing $3,000 a month.
Damn.
I know, because but you made a lot, because I couldn't be a bartender because you got to deal with too many people. I'd rather just bring them their liquor and then go sit in the back and smoke pot.
Yeah.
Get blowjobs and shit.
Yeah.
And,
Andrew Fairbanks is in the house. Chris Goldberg's in the house. What's going on, fellas?
Chris!
How's it going? Thanks for joining us.
It was at the Goldberg residence where we were going to buy fireworks when I was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And Chris was just a little nard.
Yeah.
But I was hanging out with his brothers, Dennis and David.
Yep.
And they're the ones who first turned me on to Ted Nugent, the live album. I forget what it is, but it was like
Live Stranglehold or some shit? Or no? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like
his major one, right?
Yeah.
The fucking one where he's just
I'm here to see a little bit of Nashville pussy.
Right.
I remember that, man. And I got hooked on to them from the Goldbergs.
nice.
I eventually ended up being me, Chris Goldberg, and Jordan Zur had a little band going that I warbled for.
Yeah.
Him on guitar and Jordan Zur on bass. And I kind of croaked out some songs. Yep, it was like like Highway to Hell or some shit. Which, by the way, is the anniversary of Bon Scott's death today.
Oh, wow.
From 45 years maybe?
41.
80.
40?
Yeah, 41 years.
41 years.
From 1980. And it's also Tony Iommi's birthday.
Oh, nice.
Fuck yeah.
Nothing wrong with
I
that.
got to thank Mike Florin for those facts.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
He posts all those facts in metal. Cause he's a little metal. I've known that. He used to play goalie on my hockey team.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I've known Mike forever, and he's a good metal guy.
Yeah. What's up, Eli? How you doing, man? Good to see you, dude. Good to see you in the chat.
Eli. I remember Eli.
So, so you started at Northern Lights on University.
Yeah.
Meeting bands and getting involved in the scene.
Yeah.
And getting to do security.
And then I used to hang out with Mitch Hedberg, which was I met him waiting out for like Motley Crue. No, I forget what I was waiting out for.
Yeah.
But at that time, not a lot of people had long hair.
Right.
And we kind of hooked up and we smoked a joint, and then it's like. We were just like, this is good wingman stuff. We could pick up some women.
Right.
So he taught me how to sneak into bars.
Yeah.
He brought me to my first strip club. He brought me to my first bar.
Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
Who wasn't funny at fucking all. He was just quiet.
Yeah.
And
awkward dude or what?
Not really. He just was really quiet.
Yeah.
He'd kind of have his moments, but that's when he's like, I found out he went to, all of a sudden everybody's like, Mitch just took off and went to Florida to be a comic. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then so he calls me and he's like, dude, you should come down here, man. Whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I heard you're going to be a comic. Yeah, okay.
You're not even fucking funny.
I know. I was kind of like, I didn't say that, but I mean, I probably was ruder than I should have been.
Yeah.
I was a little dismissive. And he goes, wait, you're going to see me on the fucking Tonight Show, right? I'm not even lying, man. Like 3 years later, I'm watching the Tonight Show. Mitch, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Man, Mitch Hedberg, I was just like, so I emailed him that night, and he responded right away. Yeah. He's like, told you. I was like, so yeah, we hooked up we hung out for a while. It was one of those things when somebody dies.
Yeah.
While they're alive, you don't realize the impact they had on your life.
Yep.
When he died, I realized he told me we used to sneak into the fucking 7th Street trolley, right off. Like 7th Street and Minnehaha.
Yeah.
And we used to sneak into Nibs, all these things. He taught me how to get backstage for bands, saying that you're a publicist of a college radio station and you want passes. You got to do it on opening bands. So we got passes for all these bands. He taught me so much shit, man. Yeah. And I realized that after he died, I was like, fuck. And it was another one. I didn't find out he died until like a month afterwards. So I was like so fucking bummed.
Yeah.
Because we had made, when he left on that tour, we went to dinner at what's the place on fucking 7th and
Mancini's?
no, it's closed now. That pizza place.
Oh, it's the Hot City?
No. On 7th and oh my god, I got a little buzz. I'm sorry. 7th and the one by the cop shop by it's the big fucking pizza place in St. Paul that they closed down.
Fucking Red Savoy.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we went for dinner
Yep.
right before he left on that tour where he died. Mm-hmm. And we were making all these plans and stuff because he never seen me with bald head, right?
Yeah.
But then I went to me and Phaedra.
The name that should not be spoken.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We went to go see him a few times, you know. Of course, he was too busy flirting with her, which I understand because we're the same ilk.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got you,
Yeah,
bud.
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And he's like, dude, I never recognized you because I used to have really long hair,
Yep,
you know.
yep.
You chuckled at those pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know you back then.
I know you did.
We were all in the same
I know.
group of people, but I didn't know you back
You're
then.
probably one of those guys beating on me or something.
No. I never. I really, I just don't remember.
You liked me, but because I never. When I threw you out, I remember just being like, dude, you just got to kind of. I was because I hated. I'm really not a good security person because I don't like throwing people out for anything because I'm like I'm doing the same shit.
Right.
And I hate that when
Right.
people are like, I took that guy's weed. It's like,
Yeah.
but then you're going to smoke weed at a show.
Right,
That's fucked
right.
up, man.
Yeah, but see, this was the thing. Is like you taught me how to do this. Like you can't just outright take it. You got to say you can either give that to me to throw away, or
you can go get
leave.
rid of
Yep.
it. Yeah, they'll always
Yeah.
give it to you.
Yeah.
I always say, or to throw somebody out, you'd be like, listen, somebody's going to call the cops on you. You should probably get out of here. And they thank you to leave on their own.
Yeah.
Instead of trying
Yeah.
to fucking fight these fuckers.
Yeah.
I ain't fighting you, man.
Yeah.
And so, and I hated throwing people out because I'm like, I remember like the first show I ever crowd surfed at was like Skinny Puppy.
Yeah.
And Big Oscar Arredondo from First Avenue, he got me in a chokehold, pulled me down. He goes, don't ever do that again, or I'm going to throw you out. I'm like, oh, okay,
Right.
okay.
But he was cool. He didn't-
Yeah. But there are some people there. I always said there's people who work at First Avenue for the music, the love of the music, and that was me.
Yep.
There's people because it's the only way they're going to meet girls.
Right.
And I'm not going to name who those people
Yeah.
are. But
J-Mo.
no, J-Mo was a music lover, but
yeah.
he's still, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, I got
He's a poon hound.
I got a J-Mo story.
All right, J-Mo
Okay.
story. Top-notch J-Mo stories.
We're at Gringos,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And it's me and Fabian, and it's me and Fabian. We just talked about Fabian, and J-Mo comes in. He's like, whatever. He's like wasted, and then
Now, is this swole J-Mo then?
Oh yeah. Well, he was always pretty built, you know.
Yeah.
I had him. You know, I can't believe I even asked that fucker to do security for me because that just was bad from the get go.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I've seen you hit somebody. I'm like, no, I don't hit people, dude.
Yeah.
That's just you hoping.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
you can hit people.
Yeah.
But he goes, and, well, first, okay, there's two stories. First, that night he comes in, he starts talking to me, and then he just leans over the foosball table they had there at Gringos,
Yeah.
and he projectile vomits. Just like an art. It's just like, me and Fabian are like, oh, shit. Like, don't, just get the fuck away from us because it was bad.
Yeah.
Bad. And then he kind of, he's like, oh, I gotta go clean up because it was bad. It's like covered the whole table. And then Lyle from fucking Gringos comes over and he's like, did J-Mo just puke all over? I'm like, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then they go, J-Mo, you gotta leave. He yells from across the bar, thanks a lot, Portinga! And then the other one was when some guy came into Gringos and he stole a bottle of booze, reached over the bar, stole a bottle of booze, run out. Lyle and some other guy tackle him, right?
Yeah.
The guy's tackled. Right? They already got him. They got the bottle back. They're getting ready to let him up. J-Mo comes running up and just boots the guy in the face.
Yeah.
And they're like, geez, J-Mo, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he was like...
Like you need more cops at the place.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. But I'm sad he died. That's,
Yeah.
I mean... You know,
He wasn't a bad guy when he was sober.
Well, you know, I remember going at your practice space for sub-level when it was sub-level, and we're like, there was a party going on, and we're like, well, we're going into your studio. And Jay was like, I think I'm gonna go pick some fights.
Yeah.
He went into the other studio, and then I went in there, and there's like 20 people that want to beat his ass, or he wants to beat their
Dude,
ass.
back in the day, we all went to this party. It was a birthday party, and there were gay people there, right? People that knew the person it was their birthday and shit, right? And there's a guy who was a big biker dude, but he's a gay dude. As soon as J-Mo found out the dude was gay, that fucking, this, that, and the other things, talking about, this butt fucker, and he's all yelling and screaming at this dude. This guy picks him up by his face and just throws him over and this is pre-swole JMO, you know what I mean? So he was skinny and lanky, you know what I mean? He was always in good shape, but he was never like fucking swolled up. He picked JMO up and fucking chucked him across the fucking, and everybody was like so pissed off at him by the way he was acting. You know what I mean?
I was pissed off at him. Actually, I think it was the night after the incident at the studios.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which will remain nameless. But we went back to the studio to unload your shit.
Yeah.
And we were like kind of hanging out in the studio. And JMO, we walk in and there's a party going on in somebody else's studio. And right away he was like, I'm going to go there and start some fights.
Yeah.
So and I think me and you were both like, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. And then we went back there and sure enough, yeah.
No, you're talking about the night after we played, the night that dude stuck his hand up Rachel's skirt.
Yes,
right,
yes.
Okay.
And actually, it's funny because what happened was.
Oh God.
We were going in to watch Chain's band play.
Yeah.
And we were,
it was six, wasn't it?
I think it was 6.
Yeah.
After you guys played. And me and we were going up on the couch, right? And I sat, and I'm helping Rachel up. And you walked in right at that time, and you looked at me like, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm going to beat you. And
that was normal for me back
I know. But I was just like, quickly, I was like, the guy just grabbed her.
Yeah, right.
I just diverted the attention. Because he did just grab, I just basically pulled.
Well, she told me that,
yeah,
too. She said that he put his hand right up.
I grabbed her hand, I was like, you don't do that. And then you walk in and you look at me like, what the fuck? Because I'm holding her hand.
Yeah.
And you look at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, that dude just grabbed her ass.
Well, she wouldn't tell me either. That was the thing, is that she wouldn't explain to me what had happened. It was just so chaotic because, I'm just getting off stage.
Was the first,
I'm all fucking pumped up. I'm all pissed off because my friend Brad was putting that show on that night. And it's a big, long story, is I was already mad at Brad about money. And, it was like my first band that I was actually making money with Sublevel. We were actually playing out and actually getting paid to do something cool. You know what I'm saying? And the dude's mom is there, and he promised me a bunch of money and then reneged because he's like, you guys didn't sell enough tickets, it was all, people were there to see us play.
Yeah.
But it was like, we didn't sell the pre-sale tickets for him to get the thing. And I
heard about it that night. I remember Rick Flash told me
I
that.
wanted to beat his ass. I kept telling him, are you really not going to fucking pay me the money you told? Well, dude, you didn't fulfill your part of the guarantee.
So he didn't count the walk up.
So he didn't count the walk up as what it was for pre-sale, right? So his mom was right there, and I knew his mom forever. I knew his family.
Can't be a guy from his mom.
Yeah, you can't fucking. You know what I mean? And I respected his mom. His mom was a sweetheart of a human being. She's a sweetheart, and we were friends for years and years and years. I thought I was bigger shit than that whole ego thing really got a hold of me with the Sublevel shit. And it was like, I was mad at him. I walked into a room with a girl who, like, if I didn't pay attention to her, she would fucking go and do whatever she wanted. So I allowed someone else to control my emotions, and everything was at volume, at 11 all the time. So my friends, the people I considered my brothers, you know what I mean? She went around and slept with a bunch of people anyway. I know that she did.
Not me.
I know Chad Hanks slept with her. I know other people.
Yeah,
I know a
too.
lot of people slept with her,
Yeah.
right? And I never knew anything about it. And then there were times when I did know she was sleeping around with people, and I went to those dudes' places, and she was there. Her car was out. I was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was absolutely fucking nuts. And you add all the cocaine on it and all the fucking alcohol. It's up and down. And
I remember at one of the X Fest, literally riding on your back. She's like, Jason, help, because you're gonna beat some guy up. And I was literally on your back, like piggyback ride, going, Greg, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up, man.
Yeah.
And the security was all coming. I was like, stop. Right, and they're all just like going, like, okay, we'll let that dude take care of it, because they didn't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And I think you got arrested that night. I think you actually had been arrested and got out of jail, and you were going to start shit again. But I was like, you don't want to fuck this shit up. I was literally riding on your back.
Sounds about
and you're
right.
walking around, and then some dude came up and goes to you like, you should have fucked that dude up. And then I started yelling, and I was like, how about if he just fucks you up?
Yeah.
And then you're like going, I'm just gonna fuck him up. I'm like, no, don't do that. But yeah, good times.
Yeah, that night was.
That was the night
insane.
I met Dan Infante because you were killing the guy.
Well, here's the thing though: is Dan was like, who? Where is he? And then Oh, no. I already grabbed the dude. And I was dragging him back.
It was on the.
Dan grabbed me and dragged me to the door, and he said he looked down and he goes, "Dude, I thought I was just dragging you, and there you had a hold of this dude, choking the fuck out of him, telling you you're gonna fucking kill him."
I met Dan. It was like he must have drugged you to this. I don't remember where you grabbed a hold of the guy.
Right in the middle of the pit.
Okay, but so because that studio was really small that we were in to watch Shane Band, but then I remember out in the hallway is when I was like on the floor talking to you, and Dan like had you from behind, and he's just, and we were just going like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. That's the first night I met Dan.
Yeah.
And then then the thing happened with the by the car when he walked out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when you hit him.
I never hit him with that chain though. I never hit him with that chain. I planned on whacking him with the chain.
Because you wrapped it around your fist at first.
Yeah, I did.
But you hit him once, and he went down, and then even his friends were like, "That's what you get for fucking grabbing somebody's ass."
Yeah.
And then, you know what? All I remember about that
Weren't
night,
you slapping that dude to wake him up or some shit?
I think I might have did it a couple times because I was like, "Oh fuck." And then you know what's so funny?
I was across the fucking. I ran back to the party, and
I know.
Ron Basquez took me outside.
I know. And then we were gonna leave, and you said, "Get Rachel." And then I said, she doesn't want to leave. And he said, just grab her by the hand. So it's funny because you look at me like, what's you fucking doing? Like grabbing her. And then I'm running across the street holding her hand like, come on. And then we went back to the studio. And that's where like J-Mo showed up, or he was there. And that's where that shit happened. But I remember going back in the morning to get my car when Phaedra came to pick me up.
Right.
And there was a fucking fire department hosing blood off the fucking sidewalk. They were all there just like...
Didn't he slide underneath a truck and shit?
Out of a car or a truck, yeah. Yeah, it was bad.
Well, I remember, because I hit him and he fell down.
I know,
he
and
was making these crazy noises.
I went inside and I said, I think we need to call. I said police, but I meant ambulance.
Right.
And Dan's like, don't fucking just get off. What the fuck? We're not going to call the police. I go, no, I mean ambulance. I think we better call the ambulance.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did. I didn't, but.
Who's this now? Hey, Christy, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Sorry, we're kind of into this whole like.
We have to mention Dan.
Yeah,
Dan
Copperrood. Yeah.
Yeah, his sister-in-law.
Yep, sister-in-law.
Who succumbed to cancer, left behind 3 little boys.
Yep.
Only 35 years old.
Man.
And
let me pull this up here if I can get it figured out.
We have a link on both Greg and my page.
Yeah, you can definitely go to my page and if you want, or Jason's page. There is a GoFundMe campaign going on for
her kids.
Her. Yeah, there it is. Click on it here. Serena, stage 4 tumor fighting team. She did end up passing away, but again, her husband is going to be raising 2 kids.
3
kids. I'm sorry.
And he's a teacher.
Oh,
and he's also been off like the last 2 years to take care of her.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was like a nurse, like an ER nurse or whatever, and so she was the breadwinner of the family. And I talked to Dan's wife, her sister,
Michelle, right?
Yeah, Michelle, who's a great person, and she said that his salary is going to cover their daycare, and that's it.
Wow, man!
So
that is
if
insane.
you can give whatever, every little bit helps.
Yep. Yeah, every little bit helps, man.
So young, 35 years old.
35 years old, man. That's
such a beautiful smile.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for that whole family.
Yeah, man. It is. It's insane. And she got 3 little boys, man.
Yep.
Or is it 2 boys and a girl?
No, I think it's 3 little boys.
Oh, man.
I know Dan and Michelle were watching them for a while towards the end.
Right.
But yeah,
Well,
I know Michelle's listening right now. Hello,
yep.
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I hope you're having a good time out with your lady friends.
Condolences to your family, and I wish you the best. Hopefully, folks can actually should be able to pull a link, I think, into the chat. I believe I can do that. I'm fucking blind. The older I get, I swear to God, I'm fucking blind.
And Michelle, if you're out with any of your single friends, I'm lonely up there in the woods.
Yep. Oh, I did put the link for the GoFundMe. If you folks can help out, it'd be fantastic. Hey, Larray, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We're just getting going here. Jason's been around the music scene for a long time. We're just going to kind of shoot some shit about some of the club stuff. Now, with First Avenue, you lived it, or I mean, you worked at First Avenue for a long fucking time, right?
Actually, that's what everybody thinks, but I actually only worked there for 4 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
No shit?
I know, but I was like, but I've been there ever,
Yeah.
Even when I got fired, they tried to 86 me, and I wore and then Motorhead came up playing there, and I wore a wrestling mask, a fucking Lost Straitjackets wrestling mask, Lucha Libre mask, and like a big coveralls and stuff, and I wore that the whole show to get in. I went to the door, I was like, shh.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you guys can't keep me out of shows.
Right.
I mean, you can't.
4 years? That's it, dude?
Yeah, I know.
That seems like forever.
I know. One of my last shows I worked was Slipknot when you like hurt your foot or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I went home early.
Yeah, because I remember I was talking to my manager at the same time, Molly McManus, and I remember you coming by. I was like, "What's going on?" You're like, "Hurt your foot or something?" Yeah. That was before I was way into Slipknot.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have a good Slipknot story too.
Well, go ahead.
All right.
Shoot it.
So, Tattoo the Earth tour.
Yep.
Right. We're backstage. It's me, Paul Gray, and Sid, and Kerry Kane.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I don't like Kerry Kane. I'm just going to say that right now.
He's a dick, dude.
Okay, first of all, my first time I tour
Yeah.
was with Anthrax on the Headbangers Ball tour.
Yeah.
I won a contest because I used to have a subscription to Rip Magazine.
Yeah.
And they automatically put you in to win On the Road with Anthrax, right, for the Headbangers. I won that.
Oh, wow.
And they kept me on tour because they were basically, the Slayer tour was going the same states and stuff, and they were playing them in softball.
Okay.
And that's when I first got a load of fucking Kerry Kane, the fucking bitch baby. Okay? Fuck you, Kerry Kane, you bitch. I'll beat your ass any day. But anyways, he was the one who's like, I was not out. You're playing them in softball. He'd bitch about everything. That was not a strike. It was not. Throwing his glove down like a little kid.
Yeah.
Right? But so we're backstage at Tattoo the Year. So I already think he's way overrated.
Yeah.
Right? I always thought his guitar solos sound like somebody's retarded little brother picked up the guitar at band practice and was like, hey, look what I can do.
Yeah,
and every time I see them, how many times do you have to restart Angel of Death, dude?
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like he's still, the last time I see him in Fargo, the fifth to last show with Ministry and fucking Phil and stuff, it's like they had to restart like 3 fucking songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he goes,
I saw it at Rockfest when they played.
Yeah,
it's
just like what the fuck is? How do you not know Angel of Death now? Come on,
right.
And his guitar solo,
You're like
it
80.
sounds like somebody throwing up on a goddamn fretboard.
Yeah.
And so we're backstage at the Tattoo the Earth tour, and we're getting stoned, and like Kerry Kane walks up, and I'm like, hey, have you ever, I think I said this to you, I said this to everybody, I'm like, you should have some old school funk as your come on music, And he goes, that's fucked. And I go, not as fucked as your lame ass tribal tattoos. And Sid blows blue fucking beer out of his nose.
Yeah.
Because I was like, seriously, what the fuck is that shit on his arm, man? Like,
Yeah.
look at me, I'm tribal.
Yeah.
It's like
what tribe? The douche tribe?
Yeah, exactly. That shit on his head.
Yeah.
Wear that chain stuff, you dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I handed him a promo pack one time, and he just looked at me and like fucking.
That dude's way, and now he's still trying to get Slayer going without Tom Araya, which he already had done shows with just him and like other people.
Just filling in or just trying to do. Were they playing the same shit? Still playing Slayer shit?
Yeah. And now supposedly now
like
they want
Slayer cover band.
Yeah, basically, but with Kerry King, the fucking retarded guitar player.
Right.
But supposedly now they're trying to get Phil to do it. But but it was funny in Fargo. We literally walked right up to the front to the barricade. There was hardly anybody there.
Yeah.
And Phil Anselmo comes through. He's like, I want a circle pit right there and right there. It's like, there you don't have enough people for a circle pit, man. I'm sorry, dude.
I must
say that
show,
Phil
man.
sounded better than I've ever. He's sober now.
Yeah.
He sounded better than I've ever heard him.
Yeah.
So it was fucking great. I mean, he's playing. It was a vulgar display of Pantera.
Oh, nice.
With the Illegals were playing.
Illegals,
but, but still, he's fucking sounded. It was the best he's ever sounded.
Yeah.
And I've seen Pantera since the fucking show with Exodus and was it Exodus?
Yeah.
Suicidal Tendencies.
Suicidal Tendencies in Exodus.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, okay, yeah. And then Pantera opened. Then the next night they played Ryan's in St. Paul.
Yep. Cowboys from Hell.
I actually had
the first time I saw him.
I had power metal when
Did
it
you?
came out.
Well, see, you were into that stuff though too back in the day, right? You were a
the
hair
more
metal
you
guy.
look like a chick, the more chicks you get.
Yeah, you do. I was always jealous. I had fucking guys. We were in thrash bands and shit. We were playing thrash, and there were like these dudes. You know, they had fucking spandex on with big poofy hair.
Power metal album though is actually. I mean, it's good though. It's like it's harder.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking like Poison or anything.
Yeah.
Even though they kind of look like it.
Right.
That's when Dimebag was going by Diamond Daryl.
Yeah.
I actually have a Cowboys from Hell poster signed Diamond Daryl.
Nice.
And then he like halfway through it, he goes. I seen an interview. He's like, "Fuck this. My name's Dimebag.
Yeah.
The record company didn't want me to go. You know, once they start selling, they got some say.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not Diamond Daryl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a small piece of paper ripped out of Phil's Rolodex from First Avenue when they played that show because there was nobody pitting. I was one of the only people pitting. Two dudes slam into me. I throw them both to the ground. You know, Phil puts his hand up and I walk past the dressing room right where Conrad's door right there. You know, when he come in.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know, he's like, "Hey, I saw you out there, man." You know, and I came in and fucking him. I still have that piece of paper somewhere.
Fucking Phil's the man.
Yeah, he's cool.
I heard he's a really big cock too.
Really?
I just thought I'd tell you because you like that stuff.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. How did you hear about it?
I've heard from people.
Yeah, you know a couple chicks he's been with or what?
Rachel told me. No, I'm just kidding.
That would probably
I'm
be
just kidding.
Chino and several other motherfucking people that.
Chino. You know what? I've never held somebody's Chino. You're the one who told me about that. That I was in Rolling Stone magazine with Chino when he's leaning over me. I was like, "What? I've been Rolling Stone." Yeah, because I remember the guy Tony Nelson. Who said, "I'm going to put you in Rolling Stone," and it was the show we were just talking about the two shows.
Yep.
And yeah, I've never touched a man's butt more than Chino's.
Yeah.
Holding that fucker
up.
up.
Yeah.
I've felt his ass so many times.
Was it firm?
Yeah. It was, and he had his saggy pants on. He was kind of sweaty.
Sweaty, saggy pants with a firm ass?
Yeah.
There you go.
But they fucking rock, man. They're a band that's like, they just keep getting better and better.
Oh, yeah.
Their last album's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I want to see them every time they come. A lot of bands I don't want to see anymore.
Yeah. The ones that they did at the Quest, where they did all, from like the older stuff to the newer stuff, and then back down again. They scaled it up and down. That was an amazing fucking show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
I'll go see them every time they come.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, unless I have to pay.
Yeah. Now, back in the day, you would be able to get comp tickets from First Avenue all the fucking time. What was the whole deal with that? Why did they just stop doing it? Just money? Was it all about the money or what?
Well, they got Steve McClellan left.
Yeah.
His idea was, you know what? If this show isn't selling well, we'll give out comp tickets to maybe turn these people on to new music,
right.
And then later on,
it'll
it was
come back.
Brilliant fucking
It
idea.
is a great idea
because otherwise it's going to be half empty or whatever. Yeah. Which But then the new owners decided not to go that way.
Yeah.
Which whatever, it's them. I still got a guest list, so I don't care.
Right.
as long as I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
Which, the last show, of course, every time something happens there, they're like, "Oh, Portinga's here, ain't he?" Yeah. Like,
well, dude, and this is the thing. Is that kind of when you moved to the Quest, when you start doing shows at Ground Zero, and then you're doing shows at the Quest, you're doing shows at the Fine Line, you're doing shows at 400 Bar.
Yeah, well, because
I had done shows there with you on all of these things. Now, when Rich Best moved over there, it's felt like I was the guy.
Well, no, Rich Best is who I left. He's the one who hired.
Yeah.
He left First Avenue.
Yep.
Because First Avenue at the time was the only game in town.
Well, hold on a second. Now, kind of tell people who Rich Best was, because a lot of people he
was the head booker
band,
at First
played
Avenue.
The band as well, right?
He had a band, yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't that good, but
I liked them. I thought they were fun. Yeah, I thought they were fun.
I mean, they were all right. I mean, Rich Best. I always love Rich Best.
Yeah,
man.
he was a good showman.
Yeah,
he put on a great show.
He knows everybody. I mean, now he like runs fucking what is it?
Live Nation or something?
Yeah, Live Nation, the whole West Coast thing. Yeah. But he got offered, some guy inherited a lot of money and offered him, basically bought him away from First Avenue because First Avenue was paying him minimum. First Avenue, for a long time, I mean, when I worked there, they'd be like, "Don't cash your paycheck."
Right.
It was real sketchy.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like you still wanted to work there because you could see the shows. It was, to me, it was worth it. I didn't, even though it sucked, I had a fucking family and stuff. That's why I had to take a second job. I used to deliver papers overnight, and but In fact, I got suspended one time because I never wanted to hang out after work and party with everybody because I had to go to my other job. They're like, I got suspended for a week because I just didn't think like I wanted to be there because you never hung out with everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was like, I got to work. You know, I got a family. Nobody else there did. And so then Rich got bought away, and I was still working at First Avenue, and he's like, hey, do you want to come do security for me? You know, I like the way you do security. Rich is the one who got me the job at First Avenue, actually. Yep. I knew him before that through a friend, and he got me the job there, and used to always give him rides home and stuff. And he offered me a ridiculous amount of money to run the security compared to what I was working there. Yeah. So basically, and this is how I ended up eventually getting fired from First Avenue, because I stopped doing security for them. It was basically like, I'm just going to do the stuff where I make money, bar backing. Yep. And so I was pulling lots of money out of there, and plus I'm working for their main competitor who's taking all their shows.
Their shows.
Yeah, because like he told me, he goes, when you're the only game in town, people will put up with not getting paid.
Right.
Because that's what happened a lot is First Avenue would say, hey, we'll promise you this much, and what's the band going to do? Then, they offer, well, this is all we're going to give you. Yeah. It's like, well, they're either not going to play First Avenue or Minneapolis. They're going to settle for whatever you give them. Yep. Then we offered an alternative, which a lot of people at First Avenue didn't like, which I understand, but they also have to understand that First Avenue was fucking a lot of bands over.
Right. Which they were. I played there many times. It is the best club in town.
Yeah,
to play.
yeah. I totally.
As a musician, to play on that stage it's mecca for.
I still love the place. I have
bands.
nothing bad to say about it. But at the time, they knew that they could get away with what they wanted, and they were jipping bands a lot. Yep. Okay, it's I shouldn't say jip. That's a whatever.
Yeah.
But they were screwing bands out of money.
Yeah.
And so I started working for Rich doing Compass Security.
Yep.
And Fabian was my first. I always had, because I hate fucking. What I didn't like about First Avenue when I did security is basically I was quelling other people's problems, like people who come in there and work there don't get it, and they're just like, I'm here to beat people up and whatever. It's like your ideal show is not to have to say anything to anybody.
Right.
Like, just let people have a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I used to say, like, don't make me do my job.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously, like, just police yourselves. And most of them will, but there's always a dick.
You always had guys like Dan and myself that were
that was my
guys,
muscle.
Yeah,
that was my muscle.
You were always in the middle, and it was like if something happened, you fucking go. I would always pay attention to you more so than anything else. Because
I always
if you
made
raised your hand and went like this, I was there.
Yeah, that's why I had you, even though you're little.
Yeah.
But somebody might say, what was the word? What Rich was like, I was like, hey, tell him to mellow out. He used to always be like, tell Greg to mellow out.
See, that's what I was saying, though, is that, with the First Avenue thing that you say, they always say, well, Jason was there. I remember you telling me, dude, look up right now. And I look up, and there's Rich standing over the thing. He's like, you got to mellow out. He's going to tell me to come and talk to you if you don't mellow out. And then after a while, he was like, dude, you can't be doing that shit. He would like come and tell me myself, and I'd just be all pissed off and frustrated.
But see, a lot of it had to do with Quest Security.
Yeah.
Like Dan Infante one time, because he basically replaced you as my tough guy.
Yep.
Because you got to have somebody who can kick ass.
Yeah.
Because, you can't let yourself, if somebody hits you, you have to make an example out of them. Otherwise, everybody is going to hit you. Yeah, so you got to have one tough guy. You were my tough guy. Yeah. Okay. And then after you stopped working there, it was Dan Infante.
Yeah.
And I remember Dan Infante trying to throw somebody out, this guy, who actually I knew. And Quest Security just let him go at Dan. Yep. And he threw I don't know how many punches at Dan. Dan hit him once and broke the guy's nose. It was bad. Yeah. But I stood up for him. I was like, but they were like, Quest is like, he can't. He's because Dan's
he's a beast.
Dan does tough man contest to win a fucking T-shirt. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
yeah. He's a tough dude.
Oh, he's a very tough dude. And it was just he knew. He was good though. He's, what? I always hired people. I didn't hire bullies.
Yeah.
I hired people that had a heart. You're not just out to hurt people, but you can hurt people if you need to. And but I remember going up to this office and they're like, he can't be doing that. It's like, you're fucking security. Let the guy go and charge him. Yeah. That happened several times.
There was a time where a dude rolled on the crowd. He hurt some chick. She fucked her neck up, and I grabbed a hold of him and I brought him to the door. And I'm like, dude, you can't be fuck you motherfucker. This, that, and the other thing. And I threw his ass out. Get the fuck out of here. Don't come back. Soon as I turned around, he comes running right past me, right back into the pit. And I'm like, what the fuck? I turn around and I'm yelling at Quest security guys, you know, and Mark Webster's going, you can't tell us what to do. You know, I fucking run this show. You don't fucking, you work for Rich, you know what I mean? And he's just fucking, you know, waved his dick at me. And I was just like, dude, come on, man. You can fucking, it was like we were working against each other.
I know, it was kind of like that for a while. We eventually came around to stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like Mark Webster. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I know there was a lot of hostility that we were taking care of the bands and they were taking care of the club type thing.
Right.
And, you know, there was a lot of, they didn't like that, you know?
Well, yeah. When we were doing the back door,
it's kind of like,
they'd come back and fucking.
Yeah, it's kind of like
us.
we had the glory job and they didn't, you know? And I understand, like, you know, but that's how it was. I mean, because there was bad shit going on there when I first got there.
Right.
When Joey Guzman was running the security.
Yeah.
Who's another great guy. I love all their people there. There's a couple that I didn't like, but I made that known real quick.
Sure.
But, you know, I know, like, I ended up not, how I got fired was during Dio, somebody threw a glass at Dio, and it was from the upper level, right? When, you know, you would tell them, like, watch people up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I actually wasn't working anymore. I was in the back, and I heard him from the back. And I was drunk, I'm not going to lie, but I wasn't working. Mm-hmm. And I heard Dio say, what the fuck was that? I'm not going to sing another song unless you bring that guy up here. And so I went up to the barricade. I sent all the security up there because they seen who did it. They brought him down, and they're going to throw him out. And I said, no, come bring him here, right? And I grabbed the guy, and I'm like, this is the guy. And he said something to him, and I just fucking bitch smacked him.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Quest, who is the woman who, the part owner or part manager there, I forget her name. She ended up dying of cancer.
Sue McLean.
No, not Sue McLean.
I know what you're talking about. The blonde lady.
Yeah,
I remember who you're talking about.
And she called, because Rich was always like, he didn't do that. She said that it was a girl, and that I punched a girl. And it's like, no, it wasn't. And there's already people. And then there was, at that time, whatchamacallit was running it, Rich Winker.
Yeah.
Okay, who he didn't like me because he just heard stories about First Avenue.
Right.
First Avenue people still think like I was this big brutal security guard.
Right.
We've heard stories about you're an old school security. It's like in the time I worked there, I probably hit 4 people.
Right.
And they all more than deserved it.
Right.
I'm not into that shit at all.
Right.
But you know, whatever.
No, that was something that, you know, when you got me to come on board, you were like, dude, this isn't a fucking
when people are telling me how tough they are, I ain't gonna hire you.
Yeah.
This is like about, you know, music and, you know, and same with like I never, you know, you get your groupie chicks who are like, oh, you know, I'm going to show you my boobs. But I used to be that kid in the front row who wanted a guitar pick. I wouldn't get none because the fucking whores with their tits hanging out who never bought an album in their life, would get everything. And I was like, I'm never going to be that fucking security. You know, so I was like, see that little fat girl in front? She's going to meet the band. The one who's here at every show who's a fan, she's going to meet the band. That kid's going to meet the band. But, you know, hussy number 3 over here ain't going to meet the band. Yeah. And so, you know, I've always had principles with that.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, there's still, you know, I'm not saying maybe after the show stuff didn't happen.
Right.
But, you know, they weren't getting anywhere through me.
Yeah. So now with the whole Quest thing and all of the clubs that you worked at, I mean, you did shows. We even did like techno EDM shit.
Oh yeah.
At Ground Zero,
and
then
Roy
Wilkins.
Roy Wilkins. Or under. I remember that. That was crazy. I never was like an EDM fan, and that was the first time I was like, these guys are all huge and shit.
Yeah.
And I remember going to fucking the airport to pick up Paul Oakenfold, and there's like tons of fans there. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm not part of that crowd anyway. That's where I met Katie through you, Katie Clover, and then I met her sister through that, you know. But yeah, and then we ended up going. I used
Rest
to
in peace to those guys.
No doubt, man. Oh my God,
good people, man.
So sad. You know, it sucks about Katie is I didn't find out until after Keelia died. Mm-hmm. She died in August and Keelia died in February. And I was like, I didn't hear from. And I reached out and I read on her page. I was like, oh fuck! And I reached out to her daughter Sydney.
Yep.
And I'm friends with her now. And because Katie used to be like, oh my daughter is on tour with Blink 182, you know, she's doing like Birch or whatever, you know? And so, she's like, oh, yeah, I heard about you. And, you know, she told me about I was so bummed to find that out. however many months later. Yeah, because I loved both those girls.
Yeah, that was a tough one, man.
Yeah, I mean, just like what, 2 years apart, 1 year apart?
1 year apart, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude. When we were at the funeral, you know, with her mom and dad, you know,
yeah,
like I had the hardest time, like even looking at him because it's like, you know,
I know.
What do you say?
You just lost two daughters. I know,
dude, in a short span of time.
I know. Yeah,
and their brother Andrew too. You know, it was really difficult to be there, man. It was real tough.
I can honestly say, you know, okay, with Christine, it wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't unexpected, but it was.
I knew she lived hard, but I didn't know she lived that hard.
Yeah, she lived hard. Yeah. She lived hard. And, but just the whole thing with Katie was just, I just was like, what the fuck? I was so close. We got so close.
Yeah.
And she used to always like to come over and see Keelia. We had lunch like probably about 4 weeks before she died.
Yeah.
And yeah, it still bums me out that I found out about it so late.
Well, I found out about her sister, right? And we went to Rockfest together. We kind of hooked up, me and her boyfriend and my buddy Bob and my buddy Jay. We all went to Rockfest and we're hanging out and we're drinking and, you know, I think it's day 2 or some shit. And we're getting hammered.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm getting emotional because I'm like, I wanted to go to your sister's funeral, but I just felt like it would just tear me apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm talking to her and I'm just bawling and I'm looking at her and I'm like, you know, I love you guys. I've always loved you guys, man. Her mom and dad always took care of us when you know, because she dated my bass player in the Chromis.
I know. That's how I met her through you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
from the day I seen her, I had a crush on her, on Katie.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just like.
Yeah, I hooked her up with my bass player at that time.
That's Sydney's dad, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was so crazy, man. And then like talking to her during that whole thing, and you know we're having this massive concert with all this cool shit going on, and we're over in the corners sitting in lawn chairs, like you know in a straight line watching the show, and it's like we all start crying. You know, there's like 5 of us sitting, you know, drinking and fucking smoking pot.
That's how it always happens.
Yeah. And then it was like you know you're trying to watch the show, but you're like looking over like, you know, I really love you. And, you know, you're all fucking upset, and then it's like you're crying and you're like trying to like still be cool and watch the show. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, that was kind of a trip, man. You know, I mean, they're
Katie called me one time. I gotta say this. Well, I shouldn't, but she goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I'm just in a bad mood." She goes, "Do you want me to come over and give you a, you know?" And I was like, "Sure." And she did. She's like, good. "Do you feel better?" I was like, "Thank you. I love you for that." You're so awesome.
Now, dude, you've got crazy stories like that. You've got so many stories. Now, there used to be some clown action that happened back in the day where there was shotguns involved and clown masks and wrestling masks, and there would be like. So let me ask you this. We'll back up a little bit more.
Shit.
So. I remember being at your place after the whole Paisley, us both working at Paisley for a little bit. I mean, you worked there a lot longer than I did. I worked there for a little bit.
Yeah, like 10 years off and on. Yeah.
So we were sitting there, and I believe you still had the purple coffin. Didn't you have the purple coffin?
Yeah, I had that
And so we were talking about Richard Ramirez, and you started pulling out letters.
Yeah.
From Richard Ramirez, and you were telling me that he couldn't sign his name anymore because people were selling them online, and you'd only sign with just an R or like a pentagram.
No, he would sign his name. That was Prince who wouldn't sign his name.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what's really weird is I just watched the Richard Ramirez Netflix series, right?
Yep.
And at the end they show pictures that people have sent him.
Fuck off! No way, dude. Now you got to tell that story because it is so crazy. Well, okay, so. Anybody who's watching this knows that I'm a fucking death metal guy. I've always been a death metal guy. I've always been to the morbid type, you know, macabre type of shit. Now, Jason has taken that to a whole nother level. Just for an example, Michael Alec just died not too long ago on Christmas Eve, I believe it was, of an overdose.
Something like that. Yeah.
So when he got out of prison, he started a little YouTube channel with.
He actually talked to me right when he got out, and he asked me if I knew. He was like, I have to leave New York, and he's like, do you know any place to live? I actually asked Matt Larson. I was like, would you like Michael Alec to live with you? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
but yeah, we corresponded. And he was like, what's Minnesota like? That'd probably be a cool place. Or he was asking about Denver too. I said, I don't know about Denver. He's like, do you know about anybody in Minneapolis who would like want to rent me a room or something?
Right.
Yeah. But I know then you had more contact with
Yeah,
him.
what we just, I had watched the show and the sound was horrible, and I was just getting into this podcast thing too. I think it was right around 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, right when I was just getting started with this whole thing, and I was just blown away that this guy was like, he murdered someone. He was involved in the whole thing, you know what I mean? But I was into this club kid shit in the 80s, dude, when I was a little kid.
I remember seeing him on like Geraldo and shit.
Yeah,
and
dude.
that's how, I mean, I was like, well, I know who this dude is.
Well, now, not to get away from the story, but the whole thing is I posted that on Facebook, and you were like, yeah, I corresponded with them. Now, knowing Jason, when he says he's corresponded with motherfuckers, he really has. Now tell people how many different people you've corresponded with.
Like the Hillside Stranglers, Gacy, Richard Ramirez since the day he was arrested, pretty much. And I mean, I'm not making any excuses for what he did.
Right.
He did awful shit. And for any of them, but I was like, people watch horror movies to get scared. I'm going to the source.
Right.
Go to the source. And you talk to these people. And
he would write you fucking letters, and he would ask you for certain shit, right?
Yeah, and well, he sent my daughter. He sent Keelia like birthday cards.
Right.
My daughter Christy interviewed him for a project.
Wow.
I mean, through the thing. I was actually the one who was supposed to marry him, but I couldn't get cleared.
Oh.
So yeah, he married like the jury foreman that convicted him.
Yeah.
Who used to be like an editor of Tiger Beat magazine.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude.
But he was really nice to me. He called me on Easter one time, which that was really weird because I never gave him my phone number.
Right.
And then one time he started sending stuff right because I used to have a PO box.
Right.
He started sending stuff right to my address. I never gave him my address.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I wrote Manson when he was alive to show him this.
Yeah.
And all he did was scribble on the picture, and then he hooked me up with some other guy who was fucked up, man. Manson had a bigger family after he was arrested than he ever had when he was out of jail.
Right.
And there's some fucking crazy fuckers out there that you don't want nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Nothing. This guy's name was Cecil, who's like, I worship you. I was like, I'm not hooking up with Cecil.
Right. Right.
He's like giving me his address. Hook up with Cecil. No.
Yeah.
I'm not hooking up with Cecil.
Yeah.
I'm not like, into the worship of them, but it's like I want to hear stuff. Like I used to always go like, he cut out one woman's eyes. And so I
remember that.
Like every third letter, I'd go like, "Where are the eyes, Richard? Where are the eyes?" And he'd just be like, "Oh, I'm not telling."
Really?
Yeah. But they would, he died. They said he died from from cancer.
Right.
But he knew they were testing drugs on those death row inmates. They don't tell him they are.
Right.
So they can keep it like a good test, or experiment. But he would like every third or fourth letter, he would totally forget. And he'd be like, "Hi, I'm Richard," and he'd be like, "We never talked before."
I remember you telling me that.
And it was really, and. He did me a lot of art, until they stopped him.
Yep.
I said one time, "Hey, why don't you draw me something? I'll get it tattooed on me." He goes, I wanted him to draw a picture of John Wayne Gacy as a clown for me, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I can't do that anymore." He goes, "But I have a cool idea. How about like a turtle riding a skateboard?" Which is just like, what?
Did he send it to you?
No, he didn't. He couldn't draw it. He goes,
do you have any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah, I have all this stuff. I don't throw shit away.
Right.
I have it all.
Yeah.
And it says, how about like a turtle riding a skateboard? I'm
Dude,
like,
the collection because you showed me a couple letters.
I have like a whole 3-ring binder full of. I'd write them once and send them a return envelope that I had filled out to get them to return, and then I'd send them one with just this postage on it, so they had to write everything out. So
now, did you tell Dan Copperroot how to do that? Because he does that with.
Well, Dan helped me out getting my before I moved. Okay, because I have tons of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sick of moving this shit around. So I sold him a bunch of stuff,
Right.
Like the stuff I took off Gein's, like Gein's grave dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
And had sex on his grave, and and like the Plainfield, Wisconsin sign that was like right down the road from his house. So Dan has it now, and then he helped me get my stuff out of storage. I said, "Here's the deal, Dan. You help me do this. I'll give you all the original serial killer art I have."
Whoa.
So he has that. I don't think he's taken it yet though. But yeah, Dan knows how to do all that stuff.
Wow, dude.
He's a good disciple.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He's definitely good. That's where all my stuff from storage is in his garage.
Oh wow.
Because I have nowhere to put it. I'm basically homeless. Luckily, my good friend Louis Solomon, my pimp, has let me use his cabin.
Well, are you gigolo up there now? They got all these old toothless women coming in.
I'm trying to, deer only pay in like oats and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
That's fucking awesome. What?
So, but yeah, I still have all the serial killer letters, and I have, you know, some of them like it's just funny, you know, like they try to get bad with you, you know, like tough. It's just like, you're in jail, motherfucker. Like one of the Hillside Stranglers, like, punk, I will fuck you up. It's like, really, will you? I don't think so.
Come get me.
Come get me. Yeah.
I'll be here.
I used to. Well, I had
between 4 and 7.
Exactly. I had a PO box, so you know, it's like it all went there. Richard was the only one who that was freaky though. When he called on Easter Sunday, me and Karen get home from actually Monty's parents' house, right? And we come in and there's a message. This is from the California penal system, whatever. Yeah. And then it said Richard. And then he called back later. He's like, hey, how are you doing? Are you having a happy Easter? And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? This guy's done the most fucked up shit, you know? But he's like, I told him once, I said, you know, because he seemed like a really nice guy. And I said, so, you know, I'd almost trust you with my kids. Now, so have you beaten me there? Yeah. And what he's like, oh, I'm not such a bad guy, man. He told me how everything started, how the killing started and everything. Yeah. And basically, he got more evil, and he didn't. The whole Satan thing was just they wanted evil, so I gave him evil. Yeah. Which I'm totally in that mindset. Like, really, you told me I can't do something, or you told me I'm bad. I'm gonna be so fucking bad.
Sure.
You know. Yeah. And you know, he told me about the whole pentagram, all that shit. You could always tell when people are bullshit. And they write, Richard Ramirez asked me to be a general in his satanic army, and so I'd write and be like, geez, Rich, I feel kind of bad. I was never asked to be a general. And he's like, those fucking stupid fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he would just fuck with people and shit. Yeah. But yeah, he just like all that shit was. He goes, I didn't fucking worship. He goes, I read the Satanic Bible and I totally believe in that shit, but they're the ones who basically were like, this guy's evil. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna put I'll see you in Disneyland. Hail Satan. Right. Shit like that. Right. Which I totally appreciate the humor in that shit. Yep. Again, not justifying anything he did. I got the last Richard.
Lorraine Devora says, say.
I love me some Lorraine Devora.
Yeah. That's crazy. I know her brother. I went to school with her brother.
Really?
I think so, if it's the same chick. Lorraine, do you got a brother named Paul?
No, she doesn't.
No, not the Paul.
No, her last name's Rock. Her original last name's Rock. She's from Duluth.
All right, then.
Yes.
My bad, then.
She's probably my best friend, one of my best friends.
Oh, crazy, man.
I love her.
Well, welcome to the chat. Appreciate you being in there. I think there's like 13 people. Look at that. Nice evil number for you.
There you go.
Is it really evil, though? It's just a number.
I don't know.
Right? 13 people in the chat. Thank you all for joining us, hanging out with Jason Portinga. If you guys have any questions for him, go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'll definitely ask him. And, go ahead, man. Fuck it. Why not?
Where's my child support?
Right? You owe me $2,100. I know, son of a bitch.
Okay, Grease. Fuck you.
Yeah, right. Which, hey, man, I don't have any fucking issues with that cat, but it is what.
But I do. But I do. I'm my own person.
There you go. We hope you're all doing good on this Friday evening.
What did Lorraine ask?
It just says, say you love Jason. That's all it says.
Well, I love you, Lorraine.
I love you,
and Jason. I love your husband, Sergio, too.
Nice.
Sergio has a flamethrower.
Yeah.
A real one.
Nice.
Like an old one. Yeah. And he's going to bring it up to the cabin, and we're going to melt some snow.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
There's probably a lot of snow up there for you to melt. Huh?
Yeah.
So tell us about your deer friends. Oh, the deer standing on 2 legs.
Did you see that?
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy. So does that happen a lot? Do they?
They fight all the time. Yeah.
They're like fucking boxing.
Oh, totally.
Like a bunch of drunk bums down in Minneapolis.
Exactly. I'm a wildlife referee, and I'd like pound on the fucking window. I'm like, no. And it's funny because all the little ones would be like, he's not yelling at me. I'm just gonna keep eating. It's fucking he's not
talking to me.
Some of them I can see the equivalent. Like I've probably seen you as a deer up there. Like that's a Chilton right there. That's a Chilton. But it's pretty funny. I love it. I feed. At one time, I was feeding 21 deer a day. Damn. I have to feed them at different times in different spaces. But then they come early to take the other people's food. Yeah. And it's just a war. Yeah. And then they start doing circle pits, kind of. Yeah. And it's just they're headbutting each other. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Territorial over the feed.
But I love the deer. I can't wait till the spring when the bears come.
How many have you seen up there?
I've seen one, and I've never seen a bear in the wild before that.
Black
I
bear?
seen one, and I was like, oh my God, I ran outside naked because I'm always naked up there. I'm like, come here, I want to be your friend. Yeah, but he just was like, no. Yeah. Took off, but yeah.
Naked dude!
Exactly. So I put a bear bait station up there, not to hunt, but I was like, I want them to come chill here through, but all the raccoons just ate everything. Yeah. I'm at war with the raccoons and the turkeys.
Now you had that's something that I thought was hilarious. So this is what happens in the podcast all the time is that we, like, before I played a ton of music. So it was like we would go on break and fucking stories would just go out of control, but they're always like, we're not on camera right now. We're not recording right now, right? No, you're good. The music's still playing and shit, you know what I mean? So the good stories would be off air.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like I said, you're talking,
I've probably already said more than I should.
Okay, so you're at war with the, tell them about them digging all your stuff up.
All right, well, before the privy was usable, I used to have to shit outside, right? And I'd shit in a plastic bag, and I'd bury it. Well, the raccoons, because they're assholes, which, first of all, like the raccoons, I maced them because they kept coming up on the porch and climbing on the windows.
Yeah.
And I maced them, and they ran away, and then they came back and licked all the fucking bear spray it was. Licked it off the thing. I was like, fucking hard.
Man, I think this shit is ghost pepper, man.
I know. But one night, the raccoons dug up every fucking shithole that I had for like months. It was like 50 fucking holes.
Right.
They dug them all up, and the bags were all slung all over of shit. It's like they just did that on purpose. And they chew through my Christmas lights I have up there on the outside. Yeah. And just the turkeys just did it. See, I'm at war with the turkeys. Turkeys and the fucking
Raccoons want you.
Fuck them. Hate them. Hate them. I don't want to kill any animals, but
trash
I'm
pandas?
trying to get Louis to let us do some turkey hunting this spring.
Yeah.
Because fuck those turkeys, man. They eat all my deer food, and the deer are afraid of them because those turkeys are just like.
Yeah. They're all pissed off.
Yeah, exactly. And they scare the deer away.
Puff up real big and shit.
Oh, totally. They fly like a retarded helicopter.
Yeah.
And they were all up in a couple. Like before it got really cold, I looked out and they were all up in trees, which really looks weird because they're just all really big and
just perched up.
Yeah. I don't like them. They're not my friends. They come out and they like deer shit is really nice and neat and stuff, and I can put it on my face for makeup. But
hey, bro, check it out.
Look at this war paint.
Yep.
I'm trying to get him to like me more. And I also like to poop outside because I'm like, then the deer will be like, he's not a snooty indoor pooper. He's one of us.
Yeah.
Because I always my goal is to have them eat out of my hands.
Right.
I'll be like Nirvana. I'll be like, I'll just levitate and be like, all is well.
Yep.
And so, but they're still pretty afraid of me. But that's my ultimate goal.
Naked outdoor shitter.
Yeah. Well, that's. But so now there's a building I have to go into. Well, I'm supposed to. I don't know. Sometimes I just like the air in my butt.
So one of the best Portinga stories ever is he was dating this beautiful girl that I went to high school with, and she had a friend with her, and they were already drinking early I think we did a show, and you took her across the street over to the Urban, and she had a friend with her, and you're like, hey man, come with us, let's go drinking together. You be my wingman. I said, okay, cool. So then.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Okay, so here's the thing. Back in the day, we played this show in Mankato, and Jason is on top of these stairs at the What's Up, and all you can see is there's a big
Cara Bailey.
So there's a big light on top of the stairs. Now these stairs are like 45-degree angle.
Yeah,
they're just
fucked.
a motherfucker
to load out on.
Yeah, to load out on was horrible. So all I hear is, hey Greg, and I look up. And Jason's got his wang out, and you can't see his wang. All it is just a fucking light bulb shining at you, and he's just smacking his fucking piercing up against the pole, and it's just going bing, bing, bing. Okay, so I knew that he had this gigantic piercing in his fucking cock, so I'm laughing. He's with his chick. He's been drinking. I know when he gets drunk, he's like he'll do crazy shit. So I'm like, dude. Whip it out and drag it across the thing, try to get some sparks in the fucking walkway. So he's crawling on all fours, dragging his dick across the walkway.
From between Pizza Luce and the Urban?
It was between Urban and the fucking parking ramp because we were all going to go somewhere else and go drinking. Yeah. Now, Kara and her friend are standing, so he already said her name, so now I got to say it. So Kara and her friend are standing on the corner, and they're looking at me like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're having this fucker do this. I can't believe I'm dating him right now.
I know. She's like, I can't take you anywhere.
This is the best part about it, is he's going across the fucking, he's crawling, monkey crawling across the ground, and his dink is bouncing, going, sparking off the fucking ground, but he stands up, and there are two beautiful black ladies walking towards him. They just stop. Girl, did you see that? that white boy had his wang hanging out. She's fucking, and he's laughing, giggling, and he's pulling his pants, zipping his pants back up, flopping his shit back in his pants. And these chicks got to the corner, and I'm fucking busted up. His girlfriend's going, oh my God, I'm never going anywhere with you.
I went home alone that night.
Yeah. That was fucking hilarious, dude.
I remember that night well. Yeah.
That was fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
That's good shit. There were so many good Portinga stories. As a matter of fact, we were talking about this gal, and we won't say her name, but he saw her at the show, and he said, "This chick shoots fucking ping pong balls out of her
cue balls.
Cue balls. What was it? It was
a cue ball.
Okay,
cue ball.
So, but she said she didn't do that anymore because it did something to her. There's something she explained it later on, but he was like, "We're going back to her house to drink. Let's go." So. We get there. He's already there with this chick, and they're fucking kissing at the fucking table, and they're drinking whiskey. And I walked in. I can't even remember who else was with us, but
Jack Gilbert.
Jack Gilbert. Okay.
I think it was me, you, and Jack. We actually followed her. I was with you three. Yeah.
Well, I remember coming in, I remember. Okay, so I come in and I look over at the TV, and it was old school TV, and it's got the blue screen on, and I'm going. They were watching fucking porn on that fucking thing. So I walk over and I push play. And there it is. Her like getting it out of the shower. And somebody's videotaping her. It was like her ex-boyfriend videotaping her playing with herself in the shower or some shit. You guys are fucking around. She's blowing you. All this shit's going on. And she like pulled you into the bedroom. And me and Jack are drinking whiskey and hanging out. All of a sudden I go to the bathroom and I see all these like little fucking Baphomet fucking towel hangers and shit. So I start unscrewing these fuckers out of the wall, and I'm putting them in my pocket. Yeah, I'm putting them in my pocket. I'm stealing everything that isn't. And you know what I mean? Like, it didn't even dawn on me. I was wasted. I was fucking, didn't really give a shit. But then it was like, you were busy. She was busy. She wasn't paying attention. I just ejected the tape and put the tape in my pocket.
Yeah.
I
heard about it later. Yeah.
Oh, you heard about it, and like, a bunch of other motherfuckers that I knew called me up saying, hey, you know this chick, right? You were at her house. How about giving that tape back? And I'm like, what tape? I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I fucking jerked off to it, fucking whatever, you know? But I still had the motherfucker. And it was like a shower scene, and then her like getting banged by her ex-boyfriend, a bunch of shit. I don't know. But it was like, she called me, and then she had somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, dude, just give her back.
Yeah, she knew everybody in the scene.
She knew everybody.
Yeah.
So it was like, she called the right person to get a hold of me, and they're like, dude, that's fucked up. You took this chick's fucking personal tape. And it was fucked up. I wasn't in my right mind. I was doing lots of drugs.
Yeah, I know. We were doing lots of
drugs back then. So I was like, holy fuck, man, I got to give this chick her tape back, right? So she came to the Quest when we were working there, and I put it in a manila envelope, and it was like this big secretive thing, you know? And she walks up with this dude, and he was all like, I'm going, what the fuck are you going to do, dude? And I look at her, you want this fucking tape back? And I just snatched it out of my hand. You're a fucking asshole, you piece of shit. And then fucking, it's like she just disappeared. But that was a good Portinga story.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to make it clear she never did blow me, by the way. I asked her too. She said, I have a fiance.
Oh.
But she did hold a knife to my throat. And yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we, right when we were leaving, right? Or some shit?
I don't know. We came out of the bedroom and she had that serrated blade against my throat. And it was totally cutting into me. And you're like, should I hit her? Should I hit her? And then I was like, I didn't know what she was going to do. I wasn't sure, really, because she's kind of nuts. Yeah. She's a good girl, but she's nuts. Yeah. I tend to track them. I don't know. I don't know. That's what people say.
Well, you know, I mean, that's just kind of it kind of goes with the territory when you're working.
Oh, by the way, speaking of crazy girls, I have to say hi to the lovely Adriana, whose mother's house I'm staying at. Go to bed so I can make out with your mom when I get home. Thank you. Love you, Adriana.
Oh, what a nice guy. You're always a sweetheart, man. Go to bed so I can make out with your mom. So we touched on the First Avenue stuff, a little bit on the Quest stuff, some of the shows, some of the craziness. Now, you worked at Paisley Park for how long?
Off and on for 10 years. I was like, I could never take a full-time job there because I had to take care of my daughter.
Right.
And so, but which was actually good because kind of like once you take on a role there, your days are numbered. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And so, but yeah, I brought Pelican and Plash out there.
Yep.
And
Lance too. Didn't you bring Lance?
No, Lance. Pelican brought Lance out there. But yeah, I could never take like a job. So, but I would work whenever they needed people, which was all the fucking time.
Right.
You know. But yeah, that's
how I got drug out there.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
We move pianos.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I was go from being the front row at the Jam of the Year tour.
Yeah.
And I see a friend from First Avenue walking back, Andy Gustafson, walking back with Takumi. Do you know Takumi?
Yep. I met Takumi through you.
Takumi's a guy.
Dude, he's so fucking awesome.
I know.
Dude was the most down-to-earth cool dude. You told me, that's Prince's guitar tech. And I'm like, no way. And he's so fucking cool.
I know.
Every
and he
time
worked,
I saw him.
he was White Zombie. He worked for White Zombie.
Yeah.
He worked with everybody.
Yeah.
And, so he sees that we know Andy because Andy's walking backstage with him. And then he comes out and he like gives us some guitar picks. He's like, "Well, come to the after party."
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and that's how I knew him. And then I seen him. He came into a show, and then he's like, "Hey, do you tour?" I'm like, some because for Rich Best, we did the 5-state area with bands. I did, like with tons of bands. Whatever he promoted like the shows like in South Dakota, North Dakota, whatever, in Wisconsin, and so I would go all them just to make sure the security wasn't
fucking
dicks.
people up.
Yeah, which they were.
Yeah.
And so
of course, they're a bunch of hicks.
I know. And so, he's like, well, half our crew couldn't get into Canada because they have felonies,
Right.
and you can't, they're dicks about who they let in there.
Yeah.
So would you be interested in touring? I'm like, well, fuck, I'd love that, but I can't.
Yeah.
But then I just kept getting brought out there for stuff. I did like the 1999 New Year's Eve thing, and right from the beginning, Prince liked me.
Yeah.
It was really where people used to be like, "Oh, somebody's a teacher's pet."
Yeah.
Because he did. Only certain people could talk to him. They'd be like,
Don't. Yeah,
but
yeah.
he started talking to me like the first day, like asking me questions.
Sure.
And even until like the last thing, whenever Prince talks to you, it's just like, you're just like, what?
What the one comedian said, "Don't look into his eyes."
Yeah. Well, that he used to do that because people would. I mean, I understand that. Because people would sit there and they would literally just be like gawking at him, like working for him and stuff, and it's just like so that's where that came out. I was never told that.
Yeah.
And he would, he had such a low like, "Excuse me, could you do this for me?"
Right.
Like this low, deep voice.
Yeah.
And my hearing's already fucked up, and I'd be like, "What was that?" And he'd say it again, but you can't say what twice to Prince.
Yeah.
Because then he gets pissed. So then I would just guess, like, oh, okay, I think I know what he meant.
Yeah.
But he was always good, and he was always like real fucking. He always liked me, but always asked me stuff specifically. Whereas, like, people were just like, why is he
I saw him down the hallway like 3 times, and that was it. And then I
Yeah.
saw my tie, I think, at the time, too. And
Yeah.
I was like, weird things where people would tell me, don't talk to him, don't address him, don't
exactly.
come around him, And,
you don't talk to Prince, you answer him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never would be like, "Hey, how you doing today?"
Yeah.
It's just like, that's why he would say
pretty
something.
sweet show, on American Bandstand in like the 70s,
They told me when I worked there, like, okay, because he's rehearsing this stuff. This was during the pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
And he'd be rehearsing, I'd just be dancing up a storm. They're like, "Dude, you can't be doing that. You can't act like you're a fan." And I'm just like, okay, and I'm trying, but I can't. You can't
How can
not
you?
move your ass to that shit,
Yeah.
right? So, and then they're just like, "Seriously, dude, he's gonna get mad." But then I was like, "You know what? It's his fault." For know? And I think you heard that actually, but he never said anything. And then, like when the musicology tour came, I was standing with his new wife, with Emanuela, because I knew her from before, at the back kind of, not the soundboard, but they had like a little VIP thing. And we're standing there. And I'm just dancing up a storm and shit. And then afterwards, he said to her, "I guess it's a good show if they see the crew dancing." It was endearing. She goes, "He said it was endearing watching you dance." I was like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah, because, like Pelican can be all cool and stuff, like, whatever. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm a little bitch when it comes to it. I'm like, Prince.
Yeah.
Everything, like, we go clean up.
But that's Rick, though. Rick is like,
I know,
that.
he's a cool dude. I mean, he was perfect for the job he had, Like, "Oh, I can do this stuff, He was, but, like, we clean up after the pay-per-view, and all Prince's makeup sponges, they're like, "Throw this stuff away." Nope, I have all his makeup sponges. I have his driver's license.
Yeah.
I have, because when you worked for him, you did everything,
Sure.
So it was, it was, and then half the time, like, he'd want stuff, like, there was a period where he wanted everything with the symbol, when he changed back to Prince, he wanted everything with the symbol thrown away.
Yeah.
And we'd have to load it all, Shane was out there then, we'd have to load it all into this big construction dumpster.
Yep.
Then I'd have to sit with a video camera, videotape it, all
them
going,
destroyed? Yeah.
all going, well, videotape the whole ride there to know that, so he knows we're not dropping it off places to be sold, because it was all shit that was new.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to give the people at the landfill in Shakopee money, and they would I'd have to get out in that fucking shit that's like knee high
Yeah.
and film that stuff and try not to swear.
Yeah.
And there was like a couple people who did it for me, but they'd be like, fuck this. And you can't swear because he would watch those tapes.
Yep.
But half that stuff they're going, you got to get rid of this. But we all had our own piles because it's like, these, okay, Purple Rain handwritten lyrics. No, that's not going in the trash.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that they wanted thrown away. It's like,
I've seen some stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen some really cool stuff, like Olivia paintings stuff.
Oh yeah, all the ones. Oh yeah, all of like Carmen Electra
ones.
Yeah, Carmen
Yeah,
Electra.
dude,
Yeah,
I've seen those.
Yeah,
Yep.
He'd have a lot of stuff, and it was all. He would never give anything to anybody. It was all I want it destroyed. That's what the coffin was supposed to be destroyed.
Yep.
And then somebody out there was
Did
like,
someone say take it?
they said
right
if you
now?
can get it out of here in 30 minutes, it's yours.
Yeah.
And so I got that. And then actually when I lost the storage space it was in, I ripped it off. I was like so worried, like he's gonna. This is when Prince was still alive. I was like, he's gonna find out about that. Because he had a way.
Yeah.
That dude was like an alien. He had a way of. He knew every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I ripped the symbol off the front and stuff, and I thank God I got away with that. But I got one of the gun mics.
Yeah.
I
You still have it?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
have everything from him.
Wow.
I have a whole. And that's like one of the things I have up at the cabinet with me. Like this has to stay with me.
Yeah.
So once
That's
I get
real shit. That's the real deal. I mean, dude, when I was in there, man, I mean, from day one, dude, I was just in awe. Like,
I know, that's
holy
what-
fucking
seriously.
shit. I'm standing in front of his cabinet there, where he had all the fucking everything you could imagine as a musician that you would want to achieve.
You know
They're all
what?
just
Those
sitting
things I put those together on his when they first opened it up. All those things were in boxes on his garage floor.
Wow.
I was sitting on his garage floor putting his Grammys back together, screwing them back to the bass, put all that shit back together because he's like, and he came out with me. He's like, see that stuff? I don't care about that. I put all his record collection together. Look at all the stuff. He had Black Sabbath records. He had Led Zeppelin. I'm just like, it's just a trip. Look at whose Prince is influenced. Massive, just box, just all spilled out all over.
Yeah.
Like it was criminal the way stuff was taken care of.
there. Yeah, it's just insane. We got 9 people in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. If you want to ask Jason any questions, go ahead and throw them up here. I'm honestly thinking this chat is fucking acting goofy because I think Jason brings his own set of gremlins with him because it's like my shit was working perfectly fine.
It's my sexuality. My sexual aura.
Now with the Dave Chappelle stories that came out about Prince and the basketball thing, I remember moving pianos there and walking in between those 3 studios in a full fucking basketball court. And I was like, I remember talking to James, and James was like, that little motherfucker can ball.
Yeah,
He's like, this
I
dude
never
can
seen
play.
him. I never seen him play, but I know the room you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be it was like a dance studio also.
Yep.
Like with the bars up
Right
and
in the
stuff.
middle. Yeah, right in the middle, yep.
Yeah, it was like they didn't call I forget what it was, but yeah. I actually I used to go, when he'd have the parties on Friday night, which I was I think I invited you out there.
Yeah, I never
I invited
got
you
out
out there
there.
once, but I think it was after I told you something really fucked up about your girlfriend. And you're like, fuck, I want to go now.
Yeah.
But other people asked me if they could go out there, and I was like, I don't want anybody to fuck this up for me.
Yeah.
But I remember going in there, and it was like me and 3 other people.
Yeah.
And Prince just like in your face, like, you dig this? You dig this? It's like,
Just unzip real quick.
dude, he would come exactly. He had a big dick too. he would I used to go to those Friday night parties, and he would wait till they'd open at midnight, and he'd wait till 4 in the morning when everybody's gone. There'd be 20 people in there, and he'd be like, "You come here, give a tambourine," and he would start jamming. And it's just like, shut the fuck
Wow,
up,
dude.
I mean, every time I seen him, people are like, "What's your favorite show?" It's like
The ones you don't ever get to see.
the ones you've never seen.
Yep.
His Prince's worst rehearsal is better than any fucking band ever.
I
It's
bet.
just like.
I bet.
That's why I could never just seeing him just fuck around a guitar. I couldn't
Do
help.
it in that new Power Generation room.
the MPG, the
everything
music
was
club.
fucking black and gold and fucking.
Yeah.
It was just so crazy to be in. Okay, so I want to back up. So I remember going out there, moving those pianos. The one that was in Under the Cherry Moon. You know what I mean? And then you go downstairs into the garage and you see the fucking
cars.
the Buick, the gold
All the cars.
Oldsmobile,
Yeah.
and then his motorcycles from Purple
Yeah.
Rain, and the fucking T-Bird from fucking Alphabet
Yep,
Street,
yep.
and the white Buick from fucking Under the Cherry
Yeah.
Moon, and they're all there on 4 flats,
Yep,
fucking
exactly,
oil just dripping out of
exactly.
them, just going, what in
Half
the
the time
fuck are you
you'd
doing,
go there,
man?
and I'd be picking up the motorcycles because they'd be on their sides.
Yeah.
And they when we were the first celebration he had, where we were gonna bring the cars up to the sound stage so people could like look at him. I remember like we'd have to take the battery out of the Ferrari and then move it in the other car. It's like, can we just get another battery? No. Yeah. We're just moving battery and just start it up,
just
get it up there, take it out. Yeah, and it's just like, well, that's why I'm sitting.
What's up, Gil? Yeah.
Sitting in the, like, yeah, just shit like that where you're going, like, what the fuck?
Hey, Anthony Newby. What's up, Anthony?
Oh,
Anthony's from back in the day,
fuck
man.
yeah, love me some Anthony.
Yeah, dude. That dude got me so fucked up at that Deftones. Anthony's the guy that you got Scott Infante beat up.
Which he deserved, probably.
Dude, well, by his old lady. His old lady, dude. His old oh man, this is a good story. So we do that Deftones show, and Anthony's bartending at that side bar right there. On the main floor.
Yeah, the main bar. Yeah,
and he's giving us car bombs, Irish car bombs.
While you're working?
No.
Okay.
We were hanging that night. We're hanging then.
Okay.
So we're drinking and look at he's laughing. So he's getting us fucked up. So we're fucking wasted, and we all work together. So we got hooked up. Good.
Yeah.
So we leave, and we're walking to First Avenue. Now, Molly, the one you were talking about before, she was bartending in the entry. This all connects everything.
Okay.
So we're at the Deftones show. We watch this amazing show. We go over. We're trying to leave, and we go over to the fucking the parking ramp across from Urban Wildlife. We can't find my car because I parked on the other side of the fucking thing. Right? He falls down. He says. Keep going on without me. I'll be right here when you find the car and drive and get
Scott
me. Right?
did?
Yeah, Scott did. So I'm like, fuck it. So Dan calls us and says he's over at First Avenue. So we go over to First Avenue. There's a band in the entry. We go in the entry. Now Molly's serving, right?
Okay.
And she's behind the bar, and he orders a bunch of drinks. I go, I'm gonna go downstairs and smoke a joint with the band or whatever. So I go downstairs in the entry, and I'm downstairs smoking a joint. All of a sudden I hear, oh, fuck, and he's running down the stairs, right? And he goes over to the couch we're sitting on, and he slams down, and he's just like this, right? And fucking all of a sudden, 20 security dudes come running down the fucking thing. Molly is covered in fucking booze. Get that motherfucker out of here. So that they drag him up the fucking stairs. They throw his ass out.
Sorry, Molly.
So he says that Molly cuts him off, and he's Scott, so he's pissed off.
Oh, it's Scott, okay.
Scott,
yeah.
not Dan. And he fucking knocks the whole tray of drinks all over Molly, and she was fucking pissed, kicked us out of there. Now we're on our way back towards the Quest area, Urban Wildlife area. Some cat comes up to me and says, hey, man, you got any change? You know, I'm fucked up. I'm arm in arm with this guy. I say, yeah, man. I reach in my pocket, and I dump a whole pocket full of change in this dude's hand. He goes, hey, man, you want to buy some weed? And I was like, man, I just gave you fucking change. I'll buy a joint from you. Give me my fucking change back. And I just hear Scott whisper to me, watch this shit. And he just leans over and fucking goes to punch this guy and totally misses him. Oh, like this. This guy leans back, goes to punch Scott, hits Scott in the face. He falls down, catches himself on one arm, and he's back up. And these guys are fucking gone, dude. They were gone like that. They just took off running. So Scott's like running down the street. Ah, you motherfucking trying to catch him. He's wasted. Can't even fucking run. So we get to the Urban. We walk in. Dawn and her friend, God, I can't remember what her fucking name was. Anyway, she has, somehow Scott ended up with Dawn's girlfriend's ID in his back pocket.
Okay.
Right? So the music comes on. Dawn comes over. We start dancing, slow dancing in the Urban. Her
Dawn,
friend,
whatever it
Hoff.
Yeah.
So her friend grabs Scott, and he's like, no, I don't dance, right? Well, in between here somewhere, he had called his old lady for a ride.
Uh-oh.
Right? Yeah. So I'm dancing, and I look over at the door. There's this old lady standing in the door at the fucking Urban, right? And he's just like talking to this chick, like dancing with her. And I go, Scott. And I whack him on the ass, and he turns around, and she just fucking running over, whack, just fucking socks him. He falls down. He's getting fucking punched on, right? I fucking pull him apart. I bring him outside, and I literally walk him across the street into the van. You know, his kid's asleep in the child seat and shit. She's running across, you motherfucker, whatever. Go over there. I buckle him in, dude. Go home and handle this shit, dude. Take care. You guys be good, you know? So he goes back to the house. He blacks out. He's throwing up, playing on a bucket. Throws up in the bucket, dumps the bucket all over the floor, all over himself, and he's playing bongos on this bucket. She calls me up on the phone. You motherfucker, you did this to this motherfucker. Come and get. I'm like right down the street from him, right? It's 2:30 in the morning. I go over there. Me and Kevin Lamb drive over there.
Okay.
We get into the place. We get him calm. As I'm pulling up, she's walking down the street with his kid, walking down the fucking street, just pissed, you know?
Yeah.
Go there. I'm like, dude, what did you do? Why did she call me? What the fuck's going on here, right? So then fucking, you know, all this shit happened, whatever. Hey, oh, fuck her, man, whatever. Let her go, you know? So she comes back, gets the car, takes his fucking car, and takes off, you know? So now he doesn't have a car. It's 4 a.m, dude, you know? 5 a.m, something like that. He's just about to fall asleep. I'm like, Kevin stays at his place. I get up, I go back to my house. It's 2 miles from his place and shit. And I lay down. Kevin leaves somewhere between 5 and 6 in the morning. So right after I did, about maybe an hour, he's put Scott to sleep. So Scott, all of a sudden, I get a call. Dude, Scott's in jail. I'm like, what the fuck? I just left him. She called the cops and had the cops come and get his ass, saying that he fucking threw a bunch of shit. Well, you know, his house was in disarray or whatever, but it was fucking, that was Newbie's deal.
That was that whole story. You blamed all that on Newbie. Yep. You went way back. And then, if Scott's mom would have never had him.
Oh, there is so many. Oh, God.
You know, Kevin lives up by me.
Oh,
like,
really?
well, in Hibbing, you know, now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he came down and gave me a ride to the store. He's a nice horse farm and shit.
Yeah.
I've
seen some pictures and shit.
Me and Dad are going to go up there and go fishing.
Yeah.
You should come with.
Yeah.
We'll all end up
I want
in
to
jail.
come up there anyways.
Yeah.
I'll end up
well,
in
I don't
jail.
know. I don't know how long I'm going to be there now.
No, you'll be trying to pit me and Dan against each other.
No,
you guys should just fucking fight and get it over with. I
won't.
always told Greg that you'd kick his ass anyways. I remember that shit, dude.
No.
I remember. See, you know, you put it in my head and then you put it in his head, and he came up to me and he's like, "Who do you think would win?" I go, "Dan, you know, I think we would both fucking hurt each other." And he's like, "Yeah, you know, you're right. We're friends anyway, right?" So then it was like, after a while, you know, when we both get drinking, we'd both be like, "You know, me and you should box sometime. You and I should fucking
I said the
spar."
same thing to you, and I said, you know, you can beat my ass, because somebody said, Chilton wants to fight you. I said, you know, you beat my ass, but I'll like bite your cheek, or I'll make you wish you didn't fight me. And you're like, well, what the fuck's that supposed to be?
Yeah. Oh, Benji stops in here. Hey, Benji, how's it going?
What's up, Benji?
The urban way to many days and nights spent in that place. And when we did they supplied us. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. They supplied all kinds of them. Fucking grape apes were flowing like fucking.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I know.
That was a party, boy. I'll tell you what.
What was Shannon? She would always, like, whenever they'd have a band in that other room.
Yeah.
She like, if you watch the pit, you know, you could drink free all night, which is not a good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll police the pit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But then there was fucking Dave from Bainhinge would be bartending in there. He got my mom wasted on Long Island's. My mom ended up with no shoes in a fucking Necromus pit with broken glass all over the floor. Yeah, it was awesome. Way to go, Dave. Stasny did that shit to my mom. Oh, this is your mom? Yeah. And she hasn't drank in 11 years, but here, go ahead and feed her fucking Long Island's all night. That's how when my wife first met my mom. That's how she met her. Just pissed, drunk, fucking feet bleeding and shit. A great show. You know what I mean? Just fucking.
I met your mom at a it was sub-level show at the Quest, and this, actually, I think Phaedra was with me too, and I think you said, like, watch out for my mom, and we were right up front, right?
She had a broken foot, and she was pushing people, and she was getting pissed because people were standing in front of her.
I just standing next to your mom. Some guy hits me from behind. I just poof, just went and smacked off the front of the stage and fell down. And she's like, "You're the guy my son told to protect me." Like, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm okay. I got you."
Yeah. My mom was mad. My mom was mad that people people surrounded her and protected her from the pit. I remember that. She told me that. Although, you know, there were a lot of people that still took care of my mom when it came to shows. And my mom went and seen Alexander O'Neill at the Quest one time and got a special table with roses and all kinds of cool
that's
shit.
cool.
Yeah. So that was, you know what I mean? I missed the fucking Quest, man. The Quest was a good time.
We had good shows there.
Yeah.
I eventually I couldn't work there anymore.
Ron Stock. Any story about Ron Stock 2000-ish? I have a whole night of film. Oh, Jesus.
What's that?
I'm not even sure.
I'm
not even sure if I want to. Is that the one that was at Float Right? Or was it Veronica? You're going to have to. I think that's the one that was at Float Right. Or one of those fucking campsites. We played that live shit.
Did you ever come to any of the shows in Fargo that I was working?
I don't think I did.
That's some crazy shit, man, up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only time I've ever seen a band get escorted out of town by a sheriff with Monster Magnet up there. They came up, they're like, we're going to escort you guys to the border.
No shit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Monster Magnet, like they were
kind of crazy.
Drive-in. Yeah, okay.
And same with like when I did like a bunch of shows with ICP.
Yeah.
Like out of the 5 shows, they got arrested 3 times.
Jesus Christ!
And they were staying way out. Those guys are fucking nuts,
dude.
man.
I almost broke my leg at the fucking wrestling thing. Remember we had the fucking
it collapsed.
It collapsed, and then they're fucking everybody started charging the fucking the ring.
I remember that.
I got my leg stuck in between the fucking barricade, dude. That sucked, man.
Actually, I have that on video. I have a video of that show. They used to videotape all those shows at the Quest. I got some of them, but not all of them.
Yeah.
I won't say how I got those videos, but I'm not supposed
to.
Dude,
there was the fucking. Do you remember the Lincoln Park one where I punched that fucking Cuban dude or Colombian dude in the face? They shined the fucking light on that guy. You have to remember it because you were right in front. It was me, Rick Peliquin. So the dude, he got past me on the side, and you were fucking mad at me. You were like, "Get this motherfucker out of here!" I was standing on the side by where the little 3 stairs are. Remember?
Yeah.
So he come up from the hallway, and he ran up on stage, and he tried to make it into the crowd, and only made it halfway, and caught himself right on the barricade, right by you. And you were like, you grabbed a hold of him, and you were like, "Get this motherfucker out of here!" So I run in there, and I grab a hold of the guy, and I got a hold of him, and I don't even have it around the neck. I had him around his shoulders. And he spun out and he just fucking jacked me right in the fucking mouth. So I stood back, and all of a sudden now this is the crazy thing too, is because that stage manager had a giant spotlight.
Yeah.
And he spotlighted this dude.
I believe that was Bob Dallas.
Well, that dude, I actually ran into him into another festival, and he was like,
yeah, he worked for everybody. Bob Dallas, he's dead now, but
he was like, "Dude, you're the guy who fucking punched that guy in the face and ripped his face all up." The fucking Rick Peliquin pulled the legs out from this guy. The guy spun out of my control and punched me in the fucking mouth, and then we squared up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Come on," Rick pulled his legs out from underneath him while the fucking stage manager for Lincoln Park is shining this dude with a fucking spotlight. And I'm like, "Get him to the door. Let's get him to the door." And you kept going, "Get him out of here. Get him out of here." So we lift this motherfucker up and we drag him down the hallway and we get him to the door and we open the door with his fucking head and I let him go. And Rick was like, he just stepped out from between us. And I was like, "Oh, this is it, man." And I just fucking lit this dude up and just ripped his mouth all up. And like 4 or 5 shows later, he showed up with a bunch of guys, and they cornered me in the fucking bathroom. And I told him, I was like, "Dude, you broke the fucking rules. You punched me in the fucking mouth. I was doing my job. You got out of hand. It got out of hand. You squared up with me. We went at it. You got the worst of it."
Yeah.
When he was like broken English, "I'm going to get you." I'm like, I'm backed up against the wall. He's got like 3 guys. I'm like, well, somebody's losing an eyeball.
Yeah,
That's all
exactly.
I know. You know what I mean? I'm biting
Exactly.
somebody's fucking face off with this shit.
I remember when Saliva played there, and Spencer Bradford,
Yeah.
he was watching their bus, and none of those guys, like especially that big watermelon head singer, he didn't have his pass on his. See, well, he did. His head's like a watermelon,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a pass on. And Spencer doesn't know who those guys are, right? And he walks up and he's like. Spencer's like, "You got a pass?" And the guy's like, "I don't need a pass, bitch."
Yeah.
Right to Spencer. After the show, Spencer comes to me and goes, "Yeah, the guy called me a bitch a bunch of times." And so I go up to, I think Gene Hollister was the
Like
promoter for
or
that.
something, yeah.
I'm like, who?
It's the lima bean head.
and I go, well, I'm like, so this is what happened. And he goes, "Go talk to his tour manager." His tour manager came up, and by that time I'm just kind of steaming more because they're sitting he's sitting on that Josie, whatever fucking, he's sitting on the side like, "Oh, I'm cool." I'm like, dude.
Josie from Saliva. Neil Hins jumped in. He said, "Oh, the Quest, good times after parties upstairs." Yeah.
I went up to him. I go. He was talking to his tour manager. I just went up. I go, "You know what, motherfucker? This ain't a fucking video. We'll beat the fuck out of you."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, hey, man, it's cool, man. It's cool." And then you ended up selling. You sold like fucking $1,000 worth of dope to him.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. They were like, "Can you get me stuff?" I was like, "You'll buy me stuff, thank you."
God,
It's like,
there were some shenanigans
ain't a
up
fucking
in that
video,
place,
dude.
man. God, there was some shenanigans in that place.
I know.
There was so much fucking fun going on in that place, man.
I know. I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did. I mean, I needed to get out of there when I did because I was a drug-fueled mess.
Dude, we all were. We were all fucking on, we were all on fucking everything.
Yeah, I know.
You got a little bit of this, got a little bit of that.
That's why I'm looking forward to my ride home tomorrow.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just kidding.
You know what one show that I was really bummed out that I didn't get to see because the guy ended up getting killed was Roger Troutman.
Oh yeah,
Zapp and Roger was supposed to be.
That was like his brother killed him. Yeah,
shot him in the chest or some shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Or his dad? Was it his dad or his?
No,
brother?
I think it was his brother.
Okay,
I think it was his brother.
That's who all played in Zapp.
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah. It was a revolving kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then his son actually committed suicide not too long after that too.
Yeah.
I remember that. But
That
I
was
remember
one.
that. I remember being in the.
Gore at fucking the Quest. That was amazing. Dio at the Quest was amazing.
There were so many good shows there.
Ooh,
I don't even
Clutch
remember.
and Neurosis, dude. Oh my god, that was amazing.
I don't even remember half of them. I remember Hatebreed during the Metal Fest. I remember it was the day that Joey Ramone died. But I remember somebody kicked me in the back of the leg, and I ended up getting like a blood clot, and it swelled up to it was huge. They had to go in through my groin.
I remember
at the
that,
hospital.
dude. What, you had a huge fucking
It was
bruise on your leg.
It
too,
wasn't even a
didn't you?
bruise. It was like a fucking cantaloupe on my. It was huge. It was obvious there's something mega wrong.
Right.
Because it didn't even hurt that much, and then I pulled it up. I was like, I better go to the hospital because it was bad.
Yeah.
Tara Josie took a picture of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they ended up went through my groin, threaded it all the way down there.
I'll tell you what,
and
I
popped
seen
that.
fucking Tara Josie put the fucking beat down on a dude, man. I grabbed him by his fucking hair and was just uppercutting him. She was a bad fucking broad, man. I love the shit out of that chick. From back even at the Station 4 days too, she was fucking, dude, you pulled in so many of us. Rick Plash, fucking, you pulled in so many of us.
Yeah, I met all those guys from you because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, these guys can do it. Because people just, they say they're going to show up and then they never did.
Yeah.
And then half the time I didn't show up.
Yeah, but you know what? It was like a, dude, when you got involved in that stuff, man, it was such a big thing at that time,
Well, you made good money for fucking to see a show, basically, and I'm like, you don't have to.
Dude, the Hatebreed show, like you're talking about, you were like, stay in the pit, make sure nobody dude, I fucking pitted the entire time.
I know,
dude, all the way to the soundboard and back. It was just insane. That's how I met fucking Lawyer Bob. Lawyer Bob said, he slams into me and he goes, you're security. You're not supposed to be doing it. He slammed into me again and I threw him to the ground. I'm like,
Lawyer
you hit
Bob.
me, I'll fucking hit you. Whatever happened to that dude? He got in a whole bunch of trouble over drugs and guns and shit, didn't he?
Now I think he's like a drug counselor. I think
Really?
he's a drug counselor. Yeah, that's the last I heard. He's divorced from,
Yeah.
I think there's some people that are still friends with him. I don't think he wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
He got a divorce, he was all like, "Oh, you're taking." It was just weird hanging out with them because. How I met them, I'm the one who brought them into everything.
Yeah.
Like I was working a show at fucking 400 Bar, and this blonde chick's talking to me the whole show, and she's like, "So what are you doing after the show?"
Yeah.
And then this guy comes up, she's like, "This is my husband," and I'm like, "Okay." And then finally I was like, "Do you want me to fuck your wife and you're gonna watch or something?" Because that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because she was just all touchy feely,
Yeah.
and then I ended up hanging out with them. On the next 4 days, I'm with them. Like at their house, we're taking limos to like stand up Franks and shit.
Yeah.
And I've never been with somebody who had a lot of money like that. I'm just like, what the fuck? They have that game room downstairs. They're bringing all these strippers over, and they're like, "Fuck this chick." I'm like, okay. But then he'd always be like, "Go with Julie." Like he'd have me be Julie's like security places and stuff.
Sure.
But it was just weird. Like she'd always be like, "Come here," and she'd pull me into the bedroom, and then like. It was just, I'd be like, I think we should leave that door open. And then Bob would jump in like, what's going on? Like, this is all set up.
Yeah.
Then that's when I found out they had cameras and every shit
Yeah.
everywhere. And
Yeah.
then she started buying me lots of stuff.
Really? Hilarious, man. Hilarious.
Yeah. And then after that, he's like, you're taking her side of stuff. I'm like, you're the one who fucking told me to like hang out with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she's like, I don't know. I haven't heard from any of them for a while.
Yeah, she reached out to me, I want to say about 10 years ago, talking about her kids, her daughter being in college and that her daughter's boyfriend was getting into shirt designs and all kinds of shit, and was asking me all kinds of questions because she knew I had screen printed for a long time and all that shit. So it was weird because I didn't know any of the stuff going on, and she would hit me to all this and how bad he was and like all this other shit, and it was like I was friends with those people, man.
I know,
I
know it. You're right in the middle.
Yeah, you're in the middle.
She brought me to like a storage space, and she had stuff in there, and she pulls out all these pictures of like that she took like from him that were him with other women and stuff. And he's like, look at all this stuff. I'm just like, don't get me involved in this. But then she's like, do you want this fur coat? And I was like, kind of.
yeah.
She bought me a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I stayed away from all of that because I just
couldn't
like
because I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, I remember going.
But we were all tight with those guys.
I know. And and like I remember going. She had to get something like she had this fur that she had to get repaired or something at like Nolan Mall or whatever. And I go with her, and there's this fur trench coat, like a mink fur trench coat.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking. I'm like, it was like $15,000. And she's like, do you like that? I was like, yeah, but I don't think I'd wear it. I go, can I try it on though? And I tried it on. I was just like, oh, it was just badass, all full. Yeah. And she's like, well, how much would like a down payment would you need on this? I'm like, don't buy me this, but you can buy me this stuff over here. Right? Somebody's gonna throw paint on me. I can't wear this. Right. But yeah, and then she, it was weird. And then I was working. I was the head of security for Schindler's for him, and that got really weird too. Yeah. Like. I was catching people left and right for him though. I do go security check. Like I'd go when the employees got off, and I'd be like, "Hi, I'm head of security."
I remember that.
And check people, and you'd catch these people stealing so much shit, man.
All collectors' cards and weird shit like that.
Like it's mostly was porn. Yeah.
I remember him giving me like a whole fucking folder book full of porn. He's like, watch these and tell me which ones are good, so I can buy these from these distributors and shit.
Would send that shit. And he'd be like, I remember he told you to pick some out, and they were all just like, it was all like black porn. It was like black dick suckers.
Probably could have been. I probably could have been. I'm not going to lie.
Short people love.
They creep me out from the jump, Neil says. Which part, Neil? Who creeped you out? We're kind of like in the middle of a conversation.
He used to do all the meet and greets and stuff. I used to deal with Neil. Yeah.
Sweetheart of a dude, man. It's fucking hilarious. Oh, goddamn, dude.
What time is it?
It is. Let me see here. 9:30 right now.
I have to get going.
Okay. No problem, man. So we're like we're coming to the end of this thing. We're about an hour and 40 minutes into the podcast. We got a late start, and I apologize. I had a malfunction with my sound, trying to get everything figured out, and then we came on, and I think I have it recorded all together. I don't know. We'll see if I missed anything or any of that shit. But yeah, dude, it's been a pleasure having you on.
It's good to be here.
Yeah,
I've heard my name spoken many times on the podcast.
Yeah,
they're like, actually, you told the story about me with my dick out. So I'm one of them. I was like, that was me. Yeah.
Dude, that is so many times that you've done that shit, man. You know what I mean? Talking about the tooth chipper.
The tooth chipper. Yeah, they call me the tooth chipper.
Yeah. You still didn't tell any stories about the clown fucking or the shotgun.
And I'm not going to because I would like to still fuck clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was girls who'd put on my clown mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty demented. It was actually pretty scary.
The chicks enjoyed your shotgun as well. I thought.
No comment. No comment.
So in the woods, do you get to shoot any guns, or do you?
Oh yeah, in the backyard. All you hear is gunfire up there. Yeah. Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Oh yeah. I always said I want to live somewhere where I could just walk outside and shoot my guns naked.
Yeah.
I've done it plenty of times.
America! Just start screaming that shit.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Yep. I love it. Bring some hotties up there, teach them how to shoot.
Fuck yeah, man. Nothing wrong with that.
Hell yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, man, and we'll have to do this again. I'm sure you'll think of many stories that you're like, damn, I should have told that one. Yeah. Damn, I should have told that one.
If I would have had 2 glasses of whiskey tonight, I would have told a lot more.
Right. There you go. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, to
stock up on the whiskey.
Loop me up again. Yeah, there you go.
What was crazy? Well, you got here and you were like, had your big shot of whiskey, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. And you were full, and all of a sudden it was just like, skirt,
ready to get set, stop.
Yeah. Oh, Neil said, yeah, I feel like they always had ulterior motives. Dude, they did. And that was the thing, is they were always trying to get in on something. Those cats always did that shit. Julie and Bob.
Oh, Julie and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They definitely did.
Yeah. I think she was a little more genuine than he was.
I told him one time, like,
part.
do you ever realize how nobody ever wants to walk in anywhere with you?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Bob would like start fights with people. He'd be like, Portinga!
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm not here to fucking be your,
Yeah.
Because he would do that all the time.
Yeah, he did that shit to me all the time too, but I was always game for it because I was always
I
coked
know,
up
I
and
know.
ready to go, you know what I mean?
It's so unlike you, Greg.
Yep. Well, it's unlike me now because I don't fuck around anymore, and I'm like I grew up a little bit.
I still have
Just a little bit.
I still have a big mouth and don't know when to shut it.
Well, I'm not gonna say it, dude. The guys that I fucking work with, no, I got a big fucking mouth. I talk shit all the time. I'm always busting people's fucking chops all the time, talking shit about people.
I think it's been a while since I got my ass kicked. I probably need it kicked to remind me I'm gonna be 52,
right?
And should just shut my fucking mouth. But I'm still like, what? I don't care how old you are,
dude. I think about that shit nowadays. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can't just fucking haul off and fuck anybody up.
The
these
last
days,
fight
man,
I got in, it wasn't that I got hurt. It was the next day. I was just like, oh my god, I was like, I can't fucking move.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still can't just let shit go.
Yeah.
I have to say something.
Yeah.
And I'm all about
why
teamwork.
not?
Yeah. Well, if I don't, who?
Yeah, right.
If not me, who?
Yeah, right. Well, I'll let you get out of here, dude. I know you're probably gonna get your ride here real soon. People, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it very much. Going to try to do this every Friday. Tune in. I don't even know how many I'm going to do on Facebook Live anymore. I'm going to try to possibly move it over to YouTube and try to keep things there. I thought about doing some restream and kind of hitting both streams, but it costs money, and I'm kind of doing the Zoom thing too, so I got to keep that kind of flowing as well. I appreciate everybody joining the chat and joining us for some fucking fantastic stories, dude. You've always had a ton of great stories, and yeah, so I appreciate you guys checking it out. Do me a favor. Don't forget to check out Anti Broadcasting Incorporated Screen Printing. Hit them up at antibroadcasting@gmail.com or 612-836-9488. Get a hold of them for a quote. If you're looking to get some tattoo work done, hit up Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755, or drop them an email at lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. Let them know that Ritual Madness sent you, and we appreciate you hanging out with us and enjoying the podcast. Jason, you want to say good night to anyone?
Bless you all.
Yeah, he's the Reverend. Remember that.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get rated, get a hold of him.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for showing up and enjoying the podcast. Y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast.